nauseous and ill-prepared for this. Intro music, right? Bow, bow, no. Bow, no, no, no. Bow, no, no, no. Welcome back, baby. Welcome back to the RFP. That is the Radio Farts podcast. For anybody who hasn't tuned in, maybe it's your first time, maybe it's your 10th time, 9th time. I don't know how many episodes we have out right now. Something like that, 9 or 10. And they're not usually like this. I've got to give a brief and fair warning that today is a solo podcast. So I can almost hear half of you listening, switching over to something else to listen to. But that's all right. I understand. I know this isn't the standard. This isn't the usual vibe of this podcast. And I'm sick. So sorry. I'm really sorry, guys. I actually am. I didn't want to do any of this. In fact, I had actually done this once a long time ago, and I don't know if I've spoke about it on here, but I'll keep it quick. About a year and a half ago, I did a podcast by myself. I think it was at some point in the pandemic or on the tail end of it. And it ended up being very cynical. It ended up being kind of, I mean, at least to me, it was just a little depressing, a little dark, you know, and that's kind of the place my mind tends to go when I'm by myself, which is kind of why I like being surrounded by my friends on this podcast. It gives me that energy. It gives me, you know, stuff to riff off and stuff to riff with that doesn't just immediately take a dark turn. I try not to do it, you know, and I'm going to try not to do it on this one because the fact that I'm even doing this alone right now and that I'm also sick in this one, or recovering from being sick. I just had the flu. Had the flu for a couple days. So I'm like Michael Jordan right now. You know? Obviously the stakes are a lot lower, okay? Jordan played in front of millions, won multiple championships at the professional level of athletics in one of the biggest sports in the world. And me, I sacked up and decided to record myself doing a podcast for my tens of listeners after, you know, while recovering from the flu. So, you know, you can look at those two things and you can really, some people might have trouble differentiating who stepped up more in this case, you know, like, obviously I respect Jordan. He's one of the greatest, if not the greatest. I can't, you know, I don't want to make that call here. I'm not trying to start a fight, but just, come on. I'm here recording this alone. I mean, you hear how different it is already. It's almost kind of nice. Listen. It's quiet. They're gone. They're gone. There's just a small whiff of Donnie's racism floating through the air of this house. But other than that, I mean, it's just cat litter in my own thoughts. I don't mind it. Hopefully you guys don't mind it, you know? We'll see. But the point is, I'm basically Michael Jordan of the podcast game because I showed up, man. I showed up today, and I knew, because I saw the days approaching, and I've got another episode in the pipeline here. I've got another one with my good friend and stand-up comedian Antonio Solis, who was on the previous episode, episode 8, Fucked from the Jump, one of my favorites. And I just didn't want to release back-to-back Antonio episodes because I figured maybe everyone would think I kicked everyone else off the podcast, which is a possibility. I mean, I don't want to rule anything out, all right? These guys keep going the way they're going, dragging me down. You know, because I try to bring that oomph every time we get on these mics. And then sometimes I look around and I just see Carlos and Matt and Donovan. And I just think, like, you know, I could trade up. I could adjust the friendship depth chart, make a few, you know, do the checks and balances on this whole thing, and really get a good solid lineup in here, you know? I got really funny friends. I know a lot of people that would kick ass and do way better than the shitty co-hosts that I've attached myself to, you know? You know, I'm just gonna clarify that I'm joking, because I know Matt's probably crying if he's listening to this right now, and I know Donovan's probably working on starting some sort of race war against me. Carlos is probably cool with it. He probably knew it was a joke the whole time. Or he's just, like, unaware that I was even talking shit. He's just smiling through this whole thing. That's the type of energy Carlos brings. It's just that happy-go-lucky until he's not, you know? Sometimes when he's mad, it's kind of scary. It's kind of like when my dad gets mad. Speaking of mad, you know who was mad this weekend was my old flame, Josh Allen. You know how much I love Josh Allen. I've notoriously spoken about my affection for him on this podcast. You know, Josh Allen, notorious good sport. He's always shaking hands and just looking the other way when he scores. You know, he always acts like he's been there before. Josh scores, and he's got the real Marvin Harrison. Excuse me. He's got a real Marvin Harrison essence about him, where it's just kind of like, give the ball to the ref. Don't do any jawing. Don't do any fucking overly celebrating. This is why you got to love Josh Allen. He gets on the field and he just keeps his mouth shut. He plays his position, you know. He never tries to do too much. He doesn't try to, like, overextend himself and make himself the star of the team. He's very much in tune with how a team operates, and that this isn't like a one-man show, you know? So I was really upset, like super upset, when I saw Josh Allen lose this Sunday, you know? I mean, I just, oh, man. And then Stephon Diggs turned on him. His own fucking boy. Dude, if any of the guys from the podcast ever outed me like that on national TV and just fucking threw their hands up and made me look like I didn't know what I was doing, or that this thing was falling apart and it was obvious. And Stephon Diggs is on Twitter defending himself with, you know, you guys don't understand the passion of the game, blah, blah, blah. And I get it, dude. I get getting upset, but everyone, you know, so many athletes before have been in this position. It's not about getting upset. It's about singling out your boy, dude. You put Josh, and I fucking, you know, that first part about Josh Allen was, I hope to you, clear satire. I fucking hate the guy. He's the worst sport. He's all about himself. They've made him the poster boy of the NFL, even though he's not won a damn thing. And let's talk about this briefly. And I know, Jose, if you're listening, I'm sorry, because I know you don't like the football talk, but I'm going to get through it quick. I promise. I'll blast through this shit. Let's talk about, what the fuck are we talking about? What are we talking about? Jesus Christ. I just completely, you see what happens? I can't even sidetrack for half a second. This is why having the guys might be good sometimes. You remind me what I was saying. Oh, Josh Allen hasn't won a damn thing. All right? Last 3 years, he's been not one and done. I guess the first year they were in the championship. But I think the last 2 years have been divisional round exits. And, you know, it's starting to get to a point where Bills Mafia is sort of like QAnon, right? Because they've just listened to this narrative this entire time of the Bills are the only team. They're the team to beat. They're the ones to make it. Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, who? We've got Chris Pratt at quarterback. And that narrative was just pushing and pushing. And if you're a Dolphins fan like me, you caught the ugly brunt of it. You know, you heard all the bullshit from Bills fans all year. Oh, you guys won your Super Bowl in week 3 when you beat us. Shut the fuck up. Bills Mafia, shut the fuck up for one goddamn second. Swallow your fucking... Oh, God. You know what it is? Bills Mafia... Now it's gotten to the point where, like, yeah, they have to be able to relate to Q, because it's QAnon, you know, they led them along on this big string of information or misinformation and lies that were supposed to cultivate into this big winning equation for the people waiting. And they believed and they believed and they believed. And then 3 years in a row, they get let down. One more year and it's officially an election period. You know, it's officially a presidency that the Bills have failed once again. The Bills are the Republicans after Trump lost. That's it. That's who they are right now. The Bills Mafia is, and this is the second time that they've done this. They spent the 90s losing 4 Super Bowls in a row. Only team to ever do it. And then they religiously talk shit on the Dolphins fan base anytime they get, and then they save themselves with the whole evangelical shit. Bills Mafia donated to a Broken Table Foundation. You know, there were tables without fathers, and Bills Mafia came through and donated legs to these fold-up tables. And then subsequently armbarred through the middle of them. You know, just all of you jump off of your snow-covered fucking roofs into a fold-up table and just lay there and take it in and understand that Josh Allen might not be your guy. He might not be the guy. Sorry. You're going to have to face facts at some point, you know? And I'm only talking shit because I can. You know, our quarterback was 3 times concussed, but at least he's not Josh Allen. I got to get out of the football talk. I'm getting out of the football talk for the sake of Jose. And if you're a fan that enjoys the football talk, then you need to chime in and let me know so I can actively turn against Jose, who is one of my best friends and a fan of this podcast, who told me that, you know, he could do without the football talk, which I understand. You know, we're not all big football guys. So I've been dealing with this flu. You know, and I do blame Matt, because actually you'll hear it in the next Antonio episode, because they're going to be released in reverse order, unfortunately. Not that it matters. We don't do like trending topics usually, so it's not like if I post these in any specific order, it really makes a difference. Because for the most part, the things we talk about on here are just like personal anecdotes and funny stories from like our own lives. So I try not to rely heavily on any of the like trending celebrity culture shit. I know I've talked about like Kanye and Andrew Tate, but that's, you know, how do you not talk about these things? So I've had the flu. I blame Matt because he couldn't stay in his fucking room. And I told him I was doing a bit where I was like, get back in your fucking cage and shit. And I did it a couple times, but I think Matt sometimes doesn't understand where the bit ends and where the seriousness begins. And that has led to me, you know, getting sick, I assume, because he came home with the flu. He was told to quarantine himself. And then he opened the door to his room 19 times in that day. So I don't know, you know, I don't know if he was just smearing his boogies along the walls and waiting for me to come out here and absorb that. But it worked. You got me, Matt. You son of a bitch. You fucking got me. So I had to miss work on Sunday, which was a real pain in the ass because I went to work on Saturday and I bartended and I was a double at the bar. And on Saturday, I started getting the chills. That's when it started kicking my ass a little bit. I was at work and I was like sweating, but wearing a jacket, but also like shivering. So it was a mess of a situation. And then I was going to attempt to go in on Sunday, but I woke up at like 6 a.m. and I was just covered in sweat and still had the chills. Temperature was up and down. I checked my temperature with the thermometer and it was 100.2. And it's gone down tremendously since then. But I also don't trust the thermometer I have because I pulled this thing out of the case and we haven't used it in a while. No one's really been sick for a while, which is... I want to knock on wood, but I can't because the dogs will start barking. So if you're listening, just knock on wood for me. And since nobody's really been sick or anything, the thermometer, I pull it out and it's like the thing is fucking, it's like lodged into its own case. So when I pull it out, the top part is like detached. And I have to hold down the end. I have to press in the electrical circuit with my finger as I'm taking my temperature. I'm like halfway concerned that I'm going to get shocked to death while I'm trying to see if I'm dying. But everything worked out, you know. Thankfully, I didn't have to go to work, which sucks because I hate leaving people hanging. And I'm assuming they got through it okay. I didn't hear too much back, but I know they were just trying to leave me alone because I was not feeling well. So, and when people ask you about work in general, I've always felt like how's work should be like a yes or no question. Let's fucking drop all the bullshit. Hey man, how's work? Yes. And that should be enough. That should be enough. Hey, how's work? No. Which is even better because no, just it almost has more attached to it than if you had to explain how shitty work was, which nobody wants to hear about. As I'm sitting here talking about work, I guess I'm not bitching about work though, so that's the difference. But nobody wants to hear about work shit, Don't plague your friends and your family with the awful shit that goes on in your own shitty, stressful bullshit career. All right? Just don't. You guys see the cynicism starting to creep out? I'm joking. Vent your fucking day away, Talk someone's ear off. Lose a friend. I don't care. I don't know. I don't think, for the most part, people don't care about what goes on at your job unless you have like an IG emoji career pack, How anyone who does anything on Instagram is, they've got 7 careers, each one represented by a different emoji. It's because Instagram bios are like bumper stickers, It's just, how much shit can I fit on the back of this fucking thing? And it just looks tacky. It's stupid. The thing I always think about it is, and this is dark, and I don't mean to, I'm not trying to bring it to a dark place. I'm trying to be funny. I'm trying to fucking be funny, okay? But listen, I've had a lot of friends pass away, okay? I don't want to say a lot. I've had a number of friends pass away, and every time I've ever like gone to like reminisce or click back on their Instagram page to look at old photos or just memories or whatever, I always have this, the first initial thought I get is I look at their bio and I go, wow, what a shitty bio to die with, And I know that's awful, and it's so fucking, it sucks that the guys aren't here because I feel like someone would have laughed, hopefully, because when I just sit here by myself in these bombing jokes, it's kind of, kind of hurts. I'm like, it makes me feel like none of it's funny. I don't know. I don't know. I'm 20 minutes in. There's no turning back. There's no turning back. But I think about it all the time. I don't know, dude. Maybe it's important that right now you get on your Instagram, you really reach down and dive deep and pull out whatever it is you think you can put there that won't look stupid after you die. I don't want to die with typos in my Instagram bio. I don't want to die with something coming soon. in my Instagram bio. I don't want to be like creating a project that isn't finished, but I'm promoting it in my bio, and then I die, and then everyone's like, ooh, you know, because then forever they're going to, I guess it's not coming soon. That's low-hanging fruit for anyone that hated you. I wonder if anyone hates me enough that when I die, they'll be happy about it. I have no problem with that thought. That used to be the biggest worry for me, was just legacy and like leaving behind a name and being loved by everybody. And then when I realized how impossible it was, I almost was like the opposite, where it's like, I couldn't give a fuck, man. If I die, I hope people make funny memes, dude. I hope there's good jokes. I hope I'm important enough that people make memes, you know, because that's all it is now is once you die in this world, like, it doesn't matter your legacy. Look at anyone important who's died in history. You hop on Twitter 5 minutes after they're dead, and you will find some of the funniest, darkest, sickest memes and jokes about them that you'll ever see. And it's okay to laugh at shit like that, you know? Maybe not everybody feels that way, but I'm giving you all permission in this moment to laugh at my passing. You know, on the dreaded day where I leave this earth, I hope that the loss of me being here can generate laughter for whatever fucking idiots, you know, need that. Because I need it. You know, I'd laugh at my own death. I'd definitely, the first thing I would do is check my Instagram after I died and be like, what was my bio? I'm going to be in heaven. No, I'm going to be in hell asking if I can use somebody's phone to check Instagram, see if I can edit my bio from beyond. I can't help but get dark, can I? Is someone going to fucking save me from this? Is someone going to get me out of this? Oh, God, I'm sorry. I don't know. I don't know. Whatever. You got to keep trucking. I don't give a fuck. Maybe I'm dark. No, I don't even think it's that bad. You're allowed to talk about death, man. You're allowed to talk about when we die. I just know it makes people feel uncomfortable because it makes me feel uncomfortable. I hate it. I hate when people mention it and shit. I get all like, all right, next subject. I'm sure I'm not the first person to have that thought about, death and laughter and the combination of the two. There was once a quote by Benjamin Washington Roosevelt, but he's dead now, so who gives a fuck, right? All quotes are by dead guys. It's weird that we rarely get new quotes, and the ones we do, they don't even seem believable because they're usually fake. It's usually like someone puts like one of the guys from Peaky Blinders in a meme format, and then there's like an Einstein quote on the front of it. But then at the end it says dash Thomas Jefferson. And you're like, what the fuck? Who said this? And we don't need quotes, you guys. We don't need quotes. I'm here to tell you today, if you're living by quotes, you don't need them. Every cliche you ever hear is true. They're all going to apply. If you take time and get into every single one and you're dissecting them and breaking them down and thinking, you know, that I can latch onto these words, they're going to change my life, you need to stop. Make your own quote. You can do it. I believe in you. It's time to get away from dark. We're going into the light, baby. Well, no, not into the light. Then we're dying. See, I've got a natural tendency to go dark. No, but we're going uplifting. Here we go. All right, ready? You don't need it. This is my quote. This is my motivational quote. Hey, you. Yeah, you. You don't need no stinking quote. You can make your own quote. You got the words, And I got the quotation marks. And you can take that quote, stick it over a backdrop of Jim Carrey with his beard. Artsy Jim Carrey, not liar Jim Carrey. And then put dash Martin Luther King at the end. And I think you can get sponsored by like a tea company on Instagram. I think that's how that goes. It's like immediate. They'll hit you up right away. Just make sure you give me a %, because I uplifted you. I strayed away from the darkness. I got away from my own dark, cynical way to provide light and bless you and pass you on to the awakened spirit. I'm gonna kill myself. I can't do this. I can't be positive. I can't force positivity. I guess in a way there's like there's always been this thing I think about where it's like I kind of like fake people in a sense of convenience. All right? So like not in my immediate circle and things like that, people I deal with on an extensive basis, but when I just meet somebody and it's a passing interaction or it's small talk or it's a one-time thing and we both know it, I love fake people. I love when you can bullshit me and just fucking, just lie away. Be as fake as the day is long, baby. I enjoy it because real people have problems, Real people have stress and stories. Those are the guys that are going to mention their work day to you. Fake guy is going to say yes. You're going to say, how was work, fake guy? He's going to go, yes! With his big fucking chompers, his Jimmy Fallon smile, and you're just going to be like, oh, I fucking love this guy. Don't want to see him tomorrow. Don't want to see him ever again. If he tries to fucking hit me up, I'll block his number. But goddamn, he's getting me through this stupid little fucking work party or whatever, Sometimes fake people can be great. I guess I don't even mind when my friends are fake to me. It's only ignorance is bliss, right? So it's only like if I've accidentally eavesdropped on someone and then I catch their actual opinion of me or something. That's when those things hurt, But up until then, I mean, I don't. If you're faking it, I ain't breaking it. I don't know, I think sometimes it can be nice. We're all fake in our own way. You think these tits are real, baby? Let's see. I jotted a couple notes down, so I guess I'll dive into shit so I'm not just rambling. Well, I wrote how I wouldn't I wrote how I promised I wouldn't solo pod. Some of my solo podcast notes are to talk about how I promised I wouldn't solo pod on the podcast. And here we are. And I already explained it in the opening. It was because I made that podcast years ago. That was my first attempt at doing this by myself. And I was sick and depressed. And it just came out really bad. To me. It was called The World is a Billboard. And the general subject matter of the episode was me ranting about, corporate America and how it's taking over our minds, man. How they got a full grip on us, man, and now they're making chips. Not like potatoes either. I just went like stoner to Philly and I don't know. I hate accents. I try to do them. That was also another thing with the old episode, the one I did by myself. I don't know who the fuck I thought I was or what I thought I was doing, but I was doing all these different voices and accents, like trying to do like impersonations and shit, but which I've never done. I don't practice those. I don't do those. I've never played like characters really. And I listened back to that episode and I'm like, what the fuck? I mean, there are points when I was just, it's embarrassing. I'm glad it's privated now. You won't see that episode. You fucking, I don't know what to call you guys. Fart heads. But I don't know, even though I promised I wouldn't do this, I also have that deep-seated inner craving to pod because I'm a white guy. But more importantly, I'm a guy, I feel like men have this undying need to podcast. I don't know what it is. Nobody knows what it is. We've all bore witness to it, though. Men need to podcast because we weren't allowed to have diaries when we were growing up. I mean, sure, you could say we were allowed, but let's be real. I grew up in the 90s. If I had a diary, I wasn't getting very far without black eyes. Black eyes without black guys. But yeah, no, there was no, I don't know, guys, boys. I never really had that outlet for things like that, where I was always jealous growing up of anytime I had friends who were girls that told me about their diary or just made mention of having one. It had this allure to it, this thing of like, oh, you can put your personal thoughts, you can just, yeah, you can have your own world inside this little book. And for the most part, guys were told that's gay, which I don't know if you'd fucking say that, to be honest with you. I think it would have made a less cynical Trever, I'll tell you that much. But I remember there were times when I was a kid where I tried to like do a journal or something, but even then I had an older brother. I'm pretty sure he found it one time, and that was that. It was like I had like one page written. He was, kind of goofing on me about it, and I was like, nope, we're done doing that. Time to become a hardened homophobe until I reach my late 20s, and then I'll start a podcast and reveal all my childhood problems. No, I was never a homophobe or hardened. I've always been a soft little pussy. And you can take that to the bank, right? Yeah, man. Men had a podcast. Men got a podcast. We got to do it. Didn't have diaries, Maybe if it were man Frank, Jesus. Bombing alone hits different, dude. Kind of like getting high off of it. I thought man Frank was pretty funny. I think it's so weird because I have no determining factor of how good or bad or unruly some of the things I'm saying are. Usually the guys are pretty good at checking me at the door, so I don't know. It's still kind of fun. This is my diary. This is my world of this is my alternate universe where I can do whatever I want. Whatever I want. I mean, kind of. Brittany's in the other room. She could hear me, so I can't do whatever I want. But some of the stuff I want, I can do. Brittany's got the flu now, too, so that's upsetting. I'm getting over it. I'm sure you can still hear it. A bit of sickness in my voice, but mainly it's just a cough now. So, for the most part, I beat that shit because I'm Jordan, baby. I'm Jordan. I was, however, diagnosed with stage 3 cooties. So, beat the flu, got cooties. Win some, you lose some. That's life, right? I hope people remember the cooties. You guys remember the cooties? You 90s babies out there? Circle, circle, dot, dot. Now you got the cootie shot? I wonder if do kids have cooties now? I mean, I treat them like they do. If I see a kid near me, I'll punt that thing. I'm not catching cooties, dude. I didn't get the circle, circle, dot, dot to go back. That shit ain't happening. There's a fucking stupid ass bird clawing his fucking head off. I'm about to shoot a slingshot at it. I don't own a slingshot, but I'll fucking, I'll MacGyver one up real fast, dude. Because men, we start podcasts and we make fucking slingshots. Podcasts and slingshots, baby. Definition of being a man. Yeah, hopefully you guys don't hear that fucking bird too much. I've got to have the door cracked open the slightest so the cat can get in and out to the patio. But then it just leaves enough of a crack that if Elon Musk sends one of his little fucking shills to chirp away at my window while I'm trying to record a podcast, then it can fuck up the whole shit, man. What do I really talk about? I don't know. It's been like 38 minutes, and I feel like I've said stuff, but I also feel like I've said nothing at all. And I want to get good at this. I want to be better, that I can do this alone so that I don't have to depend on the three morons I spoke of earlier. Joking, of course. I want them around as much as I can, but the show must go on, you know? And these guys work different schedules than me, and it's tough, dude. It's tough to get adults together, even if you live with them. It's tough to get everyone on the same page with the same level of energy to do the same thing at any given moment, you know? Holy shit. I feel like I was holding that back. Wow. Oh, that felt amazing. Maybe that's where all the cynicism was just underneath that burp, and now I'm burped and I'm cleansed. I feel clean. I feel better. I feel like we've solved the dilemma. Because when life gives you dilemmas, you make the lemonade. And I can't take credit for that beautiful quote. That is from a contractor, a very kind gentleman I met named Rick Meister. And yes, that's his name, is Rick Meister. Not like Rick Meister. It's Rick Meister, which is hilarious. Because he is the Rick Meister, dude. He is the coolest dude. He's a contractor that helped me and my dad when we were setting up an old restaurant that we used to work at. And we were basically building the place from the inside out. And Rick Meister, dude, this guy, he's everything I ever wanted to be, you know? He had a beautiful wife, lovely dog, you know, cute, smart black lab, a couple kids. He had a bit of not expertise, but he had a bit of experience in acting. And he was also the most knowledgeable handyman I've ever come across in my life. I wish I could do that, man. I wish I was handy like that. And I can't blame my dad, dude. He tried to show me some shit. I just was a shit kid. I didn't pay attention a lot. You know, that's how you get... People complain about holding the flashlight, but I think if you show a little bit of promise in those early development years, dad might let you hold a tool. You know, dad might hand you a wrench. I think my dad very quickly noticed that I was a flashlight holder at best. And I wasn't even good at that, man. I'd shake and move it around. I'd try and check my phone when I got into my teen years. My dad'd be pissed, man. He'd just pop his head up and be like, what the put it in the fucking spot! He's trying to like change a fuse box, and I'm over here like fucking, hold on, let me just see if my boy's got a fucking nickel bag we can smoke. Sorry, Pops. Should have been better, man. But you should have... Hand me a fucking wrench, dude. I deserve that. No, he taught me the basics. I can't out Pops like that. He taught me the basics. I just always wished I was like really handy. I always wished I was just good at something, dude. I'm just a fucking wishy-washy, kite-flying dork. Always wishing. Always fucking, I wish I could do this. I want to be a handyman. I always wanted to just be like super well-rounded. I wanted to be the fucking, like everybody wants to be. I think every guy, at least in some point in their life, is like, yeah, I want to have straight A's, but I also want to be sexy and ripped. And I want to like get girls, but I also want to be like the humble, like white knight hero guy. And I also want to be super good with my hands and know how to build stuff, but play the acoustic guitar. And it's like, fuck, man. Problem is, I never picked a lane. Dude. I fucking drove. I just spun the block, dude. I've been spinning the block for 29 years. And comedy is my favorite thing in the world, but I don't even know what to fucking do with it, to be honest with you. Because even sometimes I look at like stand up and shit, and then I go like, oh, this is just as lame as everything else. I don't know what it is, dude. I can't think of anything else that I can do well, other than really sit here and ramble on a microphone. And even that, I'm questioning myself every 10 minutes. I'm like, is this good, guys? Am I being too dark? Is this okay, you guys? I know my friends aren't here. That's me doing voices again. Okay, so like that little impression thing or whatever I just did, which I didn't like at all. I was like, I was editing that in real time in my head, like, cut that the fuck out. But I'm gonna leave it for the sake of transparency, and so this conversation has a segue. But yeah, those were the types of voices I was doing when I was doing the original solo podcast. Dude, I did probably, I was getting so mad listening to that. I was like, what the fuck, man? There's nothing worse than questioning your own identity, like, in real time. Just like listening or watching yourself back and then being like, no, that's not, no. Who's that? Put him back. You know? Just be yourself, man. Be yourself. That's what I'm trying to do. And then every time I be myself, I end up talking about death or something. So maybe I gotta not be myself, man. Maybe I gotta do voices, man. Maybe I do gotta be this guy. Oh, man. This could possibly be the last episode ever. I might not even edit the Antonio one if this is as fucking brutal to listen back to as I think it is. Actually, I don't think it's that bad. I think I had a couple funny jokes in here. I did want to talk about one thing from my childhood real quick, and that's the Martinez brothers, all right? So when I was a kid, we grew up in this neighborhood, Cocoa Park. It was an apartment complex full of degenerates. All of my friends were basically my older brother's friends, so most of them were 3 to 4 years older than me, minimum. And, you know, they were troublemakers, and I was the tag along. I was the little brother that had to be there. So, you know, but everyone was super cool. And I remember the Martinez brothers, they were my favorite people in the world. Juan and Felipe, they're Colombian. And that was kind of like my first introduction into different cultures as well, at least like walking into the homes of them and stuff, you know. I had met obviously different people by that time. Well, actually I can't even lie, no, because my best friend from kindergarten was Jahmaal, and he's Jamaican. So I was in his house a lot. And I remember one time, not to sidetrack too much, but I remember I was on the toilet one time at his house because we would get ready at his house and his mom would take us to school. And I was sitting in his bathroom and I was very embarrassing, oh my God, very embarrassingly taking a shit in his bathroom. I had to poop before school. I guess I had nerves or whatever. And I didn't want, you know, his mom to know or anything, but I guess it was very apparent by the amount of time I was taking. And they were like kind of rushing out the door and they're like, let's go, we got to get to school. And she does like a little double knock on the door while I'm in there. And she goes, swing, swing, ding-a-ling. Swing, swing, ding-a-ling. Oh, excuse my flu laugh, Jesus. Oh man, but it was simultaneously the funniest and most, like, it shocked me to my core, because I was, you know, there was the part of me deep inside that was like, that is hilarious. If anyone else swing ding-a-linged me in this situation, I would fucking be crying laughing. But, you know, when you're a kid, you're just filled with embarrassment in these types of situations. So I think I might have been like tearing up in the bathroom, just like thinking about how I had to exit the bathroom after, and both of them would be standing there waiting for me to go take a ride to school, and they knew I just took a shit. And it was a whole thing, you know, and I'll never forget that. Shout out Jahmaal and his mom, Christine. They're wonderful people. But the Martinez brothers, you know, that was the first time I was, or, you know, not the first time, like I said. That was one of the times I was around a different culture a lot. You know, I'd go into their house and there's always Colombian food, and it took me a while, you know. I remember, because I was a picky kid. I was like plain chicken nuggets, pizza, spaghetti. If the spaghetti had a piece of parsley in it, I would cry until my dad sent it back, which I later apologized to him in life. So before you guys get on my ass, have you apologized to your parents for being a shit child? You haven't yet. You haven't. No, shut the, no, quit. No, see, you're arguing with me, but you know you haven't done it. Go back and tell them you're sorry. If you can. Some people can't do that. So take this opportunity to let your parents know that you were a piece of shit child and you feel bad about it. I apologize, dude. I apologize to my dad for being a sensitive little crybaby bitch. I apologize to him for the food thing. And I think I apologized once for being scared of dogs, because I was scared of dogs for a long time, and I know that was a pain in the ass for my dad to deal with. Everywhere we went, our friends and family had dogs, and they'd have to either put them away or they'd put me up on a fucking high surface so the dogs couldn't get to me. I was such a fucking pathetic child. It's great. It's great that I'm no longer that pathetic. I just am completely emotionless. It's much better. But Juan and Felipe, man, their parents were the greatest, you know. They eventually did get me to open up, and I tried some more ethnic dishes that I have come to now. You know, now some of these things are a staple in my life. I love Colombian food, and now, of course, being with Brittany and knowing the Solis family for so long, Puerto Rican dishes are big in my life. And, you know, just being around different people in general is very, very good. And you got a lot of that in Coconut Creek, actually. It's one of those cities where, you know, now they're kind of making it more like Boca, which sucks. But when I grew up there, it was very diverse, and it was very, yeah, everyone was in the same boat. And I don't know if you see that anymore. You know, I don't know if it's just my own disconnect from me and all the people I grew up with. We're all scattered, you know. We're all in this place now where everyone's just running for the fucking hills trying to find, what am I going to do with my life? Or someone's already got 6 kids and they're like, well, you know, I can watch everyone else do their dreams, I guess. But it's, you know, I felt like it was a rare moment in not only this lifetime, but just in the world where, you know, I don't know, me and all my friends growing up, we were all in the same shitty boat, and there's nothing better almost. There's like nothing better than just being a ragtag team of fucking kids, knowing that, like, you know, we're all pretty broke, we're all pretty fucking ratty, we're all a little troublesome, but we're all good people. And it was so cool, man. I had the greatest group of friends growing up. I miss every single one of them. I don't know. There's so many fucking great times with Juan and Felipe. I'll never forget. We used to go fishing all the time. We'd go fishing at the lake in the neighborhood, and these are all man-made lakes. Obviously, you know, they weren't like we're an apartment complex, so there was like these big man-made lakes, but they had fish in them. So we'd go fish because they dump all these fish in here to like supply the lake, and we fished all the time. One day we're fishing out back of the community pool, and and I wish I could remember which one of them said it. I feel like it was Felipe, because he had a knack for saying the most ridiculous things. But I think Juan had pulled in a fish on his rod, and he got it up onto the deck. And when he was pulling the hook out, he was having some trouble. So as he was struggling to get the hook out, we're all kind of like a little panicked because we're trying to get the fish back in the water. We cared about the fish and we're like, we got to get them back in. We don't want them to, die out here. So we're trying to get the fish back in the water, and somebody, I think Juan, yells out like, hurry up, he's gasping for air. And Felipe's response was, he's not gasping for air, he's trying to breathe. Which was which I don't even, like, now that I'm breaking it down, it doesn't even, like, it does make sense, but it also doesn't at the same. I don't know. He's not gasping for air. He's trying to breathe. It is the most like loaded statement. I don't know why the fuck it was so funny to me, but we all died laughing of that day. The fish probably died because we had to stop and laugh, because it was just so hilarious the way he defended it. And Felipe also, there's an iconic story, and I don't know if he'll give a fuck about me talking about this shit, but we were all kids, obviously, and in the 90s, when you're kids, you pants each other. That's one of the things you do, and we love pantsing each other, man. There's nothing more fun than seeing your buddies wang. Am I right? Hey. And one day we got Felipe pretty good. My brother, he was the one that did the pantsing, and he went to pants Felipe one day and got more than a handful of just pants. He got the full underwear down to, and poor Felipe, man, the funniest thing was just the way he reacted, because it was almost like he didn't realize his penis was out until it was too late. And then his attempt at recovery from like everyone seeing it or whatever, like, it's already too late. You're out there. The damage is done, but he tried to go and like reach for his pants, like the brim of his underwear, to bring them up. But instead of actually getting them, he did like a guitar strum motion with his hand, and his other hand was out in the air like a rock star too. And he kind of like, he swung into his dick. So he hit it with his hand, and his dick was doing like a helicopter. His dick was doing a full like meat spin, dude, and we were just, oh, dude, I felt horrible that day, because I remember back then my biggest fear in the world was getting pantsed. It still is. If you ever want to strike fear into me or automatically win any sort of altercation, just get my penis out and I'll run, because I was always insecure about that, and I still am. I'm a shy pisser. Don't like when people get next to me at the urinal. I don't like when there's another person in the restroom. I've walked in the public bathrooms and seen like 2 or 3 people in there and been like, no, I'll check back in. I'll hold this till it hurts. It's all right, dude. I don't think enough people admit to being a shy pisser. Everyone wants to claim they got this fucking confidence, but I can hear you guys. A shy pisser is very observant, all right? When I go into a public restroom and I'm in the shitter, and I'm listening, because that's what I'm doing, I can hear how long it takes each of you to get going. I can hear the ones who wait till someone leaves to start, okay? That's my method also. Walk in, get it out, diddle around until the other guy leaves, and then it flows out like a waterfall. It's like, what the fuck, dude? It's like when you have to shit and you're getting close to the bathroom, your body gives up. Your body's got no fourth quarter in them. Your body's just like, oh, we're here. Fucking let open the gates. That's always the worst feeling, is when you have to take a shit, but then like you're holding it, and like even sometimes you get it to a point where you're like, oh wow, it's kind of subsided. I don't even feel it. But then like the second you're like pulling into your neighborhood and your body is aware that the toilet is near, it just completely like loosens everything on you. It's so horrible. Who designed this? Who made this? Look at me. I don't know. I'm not going to do the check. I'm not going to do how's this podcast going? It's not like you guys can tell me anyway. I don't know why I keep doing that. I keep checking to see like if the audience can as if you guys are going to respond to me now. But I don't know. I mean, I guess you will respond if anyone responds. Like, if anyone engages with this and mentions anything about it, I don't know, just tell me how you feel about the solo stuff. I won't do it ever again if it's really that bad. I know it's not the same vibe as like fucking Legend of Happlecot or one of those episodes where it's like fucking bros in the house, you know. But I'm just doing what I can. I almost filled a goddamn hour by myself, dude. By myself. I kind of feel like Jordan about it. Can't take that away from me. I fucking pulled up, dude. I walked into the locker room this morning sneezing, bro. Sneezing, coughing, weak. And coach looked at me and said, "You gonna play?" I just shook my head at him. Couldn't even believe he'd asked me such a fucking ridiculous question. Am I gonna play? Of course I'm gonna play. I'm gonna play and I'm gonna fucking ball out. And that's what I'm doing right now on this podcast. You might not know, but I've been balling out this whole time. I've been crossing you up. Fucking whoop, layup. Whoop, 3 points. And you didn't even know. You forgot to play defense this whole time. This whole time you've been watching me like the Harlem GraveRobbers. The Harlem GraveRobbers. The Harlem GraveRobbers. Just think about it. Oh man, they're all flashy doing tricks while stealing jewelry off an old woman's corpse. Oh shit. Oh god. I told you I was balling out. Fucking who else is gonna come up with Harlem GraveRobbers, dude? I didn't even mean to. I stumbled over my own word into a bit. That was great. Sometimes things just work out, baby. That's called serendipity. Sweet serendipity. I love that word, though. I do like that word. It's like accidental success or something. Serendipity or like good luck, but by accident. It sounds like two people also. Like Sarah and Dippity. Like another shitty Barstool podcast. It's Serendipity. Why does Barstool have so many podcasts? Oh, wow. What a stupid question, Trevor. What a stupid question, considering your whole spiel about men not having diaries, and then you asked, why does one of the most testosterone-infused companies on this planet have so many podcasts? You know, think, dude. Connect the fucking dots. Connect the dippin' dots. Of course Barstool's got 70 fucking podcasts. That place is literally running on tea. Man, don't get me wrong. There's a couple like segments and people from Barstool that are enjoyable, but I gotta say, dude, working at that company or like that looks like a fucking nightmare, dude. That looks like high school forever. That is like, I mean, that's the definition of if I hadn't blown out my knee. How many fucking coulda gone pro guys do you think walk around there? How many high school sports stories do you think get told in that building on a day-to-day basis? Probably not a lot, because they don't post sports or care about sports. It's Barstool fucking gossip at this point. Barstool is TMZ with a fucking sports logo over the top. That's literally what it is, too. Now that I'm thinking about it, like I've watched certain videos of Barstool where I'm like, oh, this looks like the TMZ office where they're just like shooting around. And he's like, oh, so Justin Bieber fucking had sex with another model. And they're just like popping around, and I don't know. It's weird. Why did I just do Fallon? See what I mean about accents and impressions? I got to stay away from this world. It's not mine. It's not a world I belong in. It's not a world I thrive in. I'm not an accents guy. Although Fallon, I feel like, is pretty easy. We got a great show for you, folks. All right. That's all it is, right? It's over excessive laughter. Fallon's not bad. I don't know. Can I do any other impressions? B-E-A beautiful. That's my awful Jim Carrey impression. I guess you would have to see that my eyes were completely crossed and my teeth were the size of a horse's teeth when I did that. It really adds to the impression. I did the Jersey Girl impression pretty well the other day. The smoker. That's an easy one. That one kind of has always been there for me because Rocco's Modern Life. When I grew up watching that cartoon, there was the neighbor was that big toad guy, and his wife had like the smoker's voice. Rocco. Oh, Rocco. Come here, you sweet little thing. And then everyone and their mother does the Stitch from Lilo and Stitch, and they do it so much. I hate that fucking impression. I hate it because it's just like, what if you had cum in your throat? That's how you do the Stitch voice. Just put a little cum in your throat. Oh, shit. I didn't mean to actually put cum in my throat, but I'm a method actor, so stick with me here. I almost choked on it. I almost choked on the next generation. See, that's a joke that deserves a laugh. Where are you, friends? Sorry I spoke ill of you earlier. You know I didn't mean it. I did. But, I don't know. I'm kind of having fun thinking of what impressions I could do now, though. I love how I go full circle on everything. Every time I talk shit about something, I immediately finish by, like, becoming that thing. And everyone knows I hate women, so guess what my next move is? Ba-dum-ba-dum-bum-bum, getting tits. Now that's a bad joke. That's a shitty joke. That's one that I'm glad the guys weren't here for. That's one that I hope you're... I wonder if there's a specific stat that'll tell me how many people stopped listening at that exact point. The moment I hit that punchline, they were just like, yep, that's it. I mean, I'd be thrilled if you went an hour and 6 minutes listening to me by myself, then you might need therapy more than I do. And that's saying something, because I don't know if any of you heard the Antonio episode, but it was basically like a massive cry for a therapist from me. But I gotta say, I probably won't do that. I'm sticking to my guns, dude. I'm kind of sticking to this shitty, unhealthy mentality that there's nothing wrong with me. What's wrong is everybody else on this fucking planet, all right? All 8 billion of you. You're wrong. I'm right. I'm funny, I'm smart, I'm handsome, I'm all of the things, and you guys are none of them. That's my therapy. Just gassing myself up to the point of combustion. And that's how I achieve sweet serendipity. So please, take a deep breath with me, and we will all achieve sweet serendipity. Oh, serendipity. Oh, serendipity. One more. Barstool Sports. Nice. Well done, you guys. I'm glad you could get through that with me. Since I'm alone, I have full control of this thing. I mean, who's going to fucking tell me what to do, dude? If I want to do like a yoga segment, an hour and 8 into this fucking podcast, then that's what I'm going to do. And nobody can tell me no. I have my arms up in the air. I'm legitimate. I've just realized I've been acting out all the things I'm saying as I'm sitting here and I'm by myself in this living room. That's almost terrifying. And then the way I just put my arms down and looked around was like even more horrifying because I did it as if someone was watching me call myself out. I think I am losing my mind. Speaking of people watching you, though, I got one more childhood story and then I'll probably wrap this stupid thing up. Because I doubt anyone wants to hear more than an hour and 10 of me fucking blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. There's another accent. Fucking a vampire, Dracula. Blah. Blah, blah. Jesus Christ. I'm so bad at all this. Yeah, the last thing I wanted to tell a story because I forgot what even the segue was. But one time when I was probably like 7 or 8, I was in my room, my childhood room, and I was dancing to Usher's Yeah. Yeah, yeah. When the best of homies. That song. And then right before the chorus kicked in on one of the parts, it was like, she was all up on me singing, and it goes, yeah. And right on that yeah, I did a spin move, like a spin dance move, where I was kind of doing like a Michael Jackson, like hand on the forehead, one hand behind the back, kind of like legs pretzeled up. And I was doing like a very bad spin move, and I spun my head directly into the wall and knocked myself out for a brief moment to Usher's Yeah. So every time I hear that song, I run as fast as I can out of the club or bar that it's playing in. Yeah. It also reminds me of that song, Lovers and Friends, where Lil Jon was like, please tell your lovers. Oh, no, it was Ludacris. Please tell your lovers and friends that Ursher, John, and Luda had to do it again. And it always used to bug me so much that he said Ursher. But then I realized I was just being a racist child. Ludacris can say Ursher however he wants. Nah, that's not on me to fucking make that call. Ursher. And then another little childhood dance story. I don't know why I was dancing so much. I was a dancing young lad, dude. I was a chippy. I was like Happy Feet, man. Now I'm fucking depressed legs. God, that was bad. Jesus Christ. Fuck. Sitting in it. Smells like bad jokes and Donnie's racism. No, yeah, I was dancing another time to, I don't even know what song I was dancing to at this point. I don't even think I was dancing to a song. I think I was just getting hyped by myself as a kid. And I was in my underwear for this one because I think I was about to take a shower. Just got out of the shower. So I was in my whitey tighties and I was swinging my shirt around and I was wearing a cowboy hat. And I was kind of doing like a spinning kind of rodeo dance thing. And at the time we had some neighborhood friends. One of them was Joey. He was my brother's age, so like 4 or 5 years older than me, and he'd always come over and hang out. So Joey was at the house with my brother, but they were in the other room and they were playing video games or something. So I thought I had the safety, that I had a little security here to gallop around in my cowboy hat and dance. But Joey had a younger sister named Sarah who was closer to my age. And it wasn't like I had a crush on her or anything, but it was just like, when girls are around your age and you're that young, you don't want to be like, I don't know, you don't want to be embarrassed or something. Plus, they might know some other girls your age that you might have interest in. But, yeah, I was dancing, swinging my shirt around. I had my underwear, my whitey tighties on, and then wearing a big old cowboy hat. And as I'm spinning around dancing, have my eyes closed for most of it. But then I open my eyes for a brief second, and Sarah is walking up to our front door, and my bedroom window is open, by the way. I don't know why the blinds are just completely open. And I guess because it was nighttime, I was a dumb kid, and I didn't realize that like night I can't see out really, but they can completely see in, especially in a well lit room with a dancing kid in a cowboy hat. And the brief second I open my eyes, I see Sarah walking by the window. She's on her way to the door because she's here to pick up Joey or tell him that he has to come home. And dude, when I tell you, she walked by and she turns and sees me, and like, she didn't have to do this, dude, but she literally she goes, ah! And fucking like ran away. To the point where like Joey and my brother ran outside to see what the fuck happened. I'm like trying to get like I fell to the ground in embarrassment, and like I'm trying to like cover my pecker and get that cowboy hat off as fast as possible so somebody doesn't realize what happened. And it was just a nightmare, dude. Really did a number on my dancing confidence too. I'm wondering if that's why I don't dance or wear cowboy hats anymore. My life could have been way different, man. Sarah really fucked that up. I could have been a little serendipitous cowboy. She took that from me. You know? You don't realize how impactful some of these things are when you're a kid. I'm fucking around, but I legitimately, I'm like, I don't really dance or wear cowboy hats. And I'm wondering if that did it. I don't wear whitey tighties either anymore. That could have been I think it was probably from that moment I gave up on those. They were stupid to begin with. Anyone who ever thought white was a great underwear design, it's just not. It's not. It's horrible, dude. You'll see stains from liquids you didn't even know existed. From areas of your body you didn't know secreted things. Have I fully grossed everyone out now? But yeah, that's pretty much it. You know, Sarah ruined my potential to be a cowboy. Could have been Trevi Ray Cyrus, but, you know, fuck that, right? And then the wall took away my ability to listen to Ursher. Ludacris calling him Ursher made me, you know, a little, you know, it just pushed me in the wrong direction for a little bit. You know, if I had combined, see, maybe it's a good thing. Maybe these things all work in tandem for a reason, okay? So think about this. If I still wore cowboy hats and I still hated Luda for saying Ursher, that's a recipe for disaster, right? But I don't, because I've grown out of both those things because of life lessons. You have to build. You have to get better. You have to not let things just beat you down and mold you into a personality. You have to take things and become them, embody them, embrace them, grow from them. Be the light. Fuck a quote. You don't need it. I'm giving you this right now. This is straight to your brain. I'm injecting you, baby. I'm going to inject you with sweet serendipity. And I hope you're ready for it. Sorry if I creeped you out. Kind of creeped me out for a second there. I didn't even know what happened. I didn't even know what I was talking about. I don't know what's going on anymore, man. It's been a long episode, but I did it, you know? I'm calling it. I'm going to call this the episode. I think I did a decent job. Listen, man, they're not all going to be fucking amazing. Sometimes it'll just be a crazy man sitting at a table with his arms up in the air, which they are once again. My arms are up in the air. I keep doing this. I'm acting out this podcast for nobody. But for those who listen, and for those who have been here and have, you know, checked us out, first of all, legitimately, I want to say thank you. Thank you for listening, and thank you for keeping up with the RFP. I'm trying to shorten Radio Farts podcast to make it like slangy, like I'm Ludacris, so I can get so it could be more catchy and like happening. People be like, RFP, whoa, what's that? But, you know, to everyone seriously who's been listening, I really appreciate it, you know. Glad I'm not doing this for nobody, even though probably fucking still would, because, you know, and Frank. But you know, it's been nice that there's been a legitimate feedback. There's been engagement. There's been listens. I mean, we've just had a couple episodes go over 100 listens, and that's nice. 100 people. 100 people hearing you talk for fucking, you know, that's something, dude. I don't want to say that's Michael Jordan level, but see you at the free throw line, you know? And it's been good, dude. I think, to be honest, I think this thing is really, it's getting better. I think aside from this episode, which is probably going to revert the whole process back, episodes 1 through 3 or 0 through 3, I should say, were, they're good and I enjoyed them, but I can, even looking back or listening back to little bits, I immediately am like, oh wow, I can feel the difference just in growth from that to like episode 4 with me and Donnie is where I feel like we really took a step up into understanding what a podcast is supposed to sound like. And from there, I think every episode has been outstanding. I think this will probably be one of the less outstanding ones unless people somehow enjoy just me on here. But I was just doing it to ensure that there's not too much time in between episodes, and I did want to talk. I'm not gonna fucking sit here and lie. I did. Part of me does want to do this alone and see what I'm made of. Because a lot of us can sit here and tell ourselves that, yeah, I can talk for a fucking hour and 30 minutes uninterrupted or whatever and make it interesting, but a lot of us can't. I fucking could barely do it, or am not doing it. I don't know. That's, to be determined. So to everyone who has been listening, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Stick with us. It's going to keep growing, going to keep getting better. I'm going to have more guests on eventually. I know Antonio has been the only guest so far, but, outside of me and the regular boys co-hosting. But I've got a lot of talented, great people that I know and that want to be a part of this as well. So eventually we're going to get all these things done, And I almost did this episode as video, but if there's anything worse than hearing myself back, it's seeing myself. So I skipped out on that one too. Who's got the time? Who cares? Who wants to see this anyway? Does someone want to see me? Because that's fucking weird. You want to watch me talk for an hour? That's, I don't know. Can't think of much lamer shit than that. I'm kidding. I'd stare at me for hours. I do sometimes. Serendipity, baby. I think that's all she wrote, man. I think that's it. I think I've tried to wrap this up like 5 times, but I keep sidetracking because I don't, I keep not feeling like it's good enough, and I keep simultaneously feeling like I'm going to delete the whole thing at once. So just going to eradicate that feeling, say thank you guys, ask that you do me this quick favor, this small, tiny, little favor that will forever change all of our lives. And that is to rate us 5 stars on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or any available podcast streaming platform that you prefer. We're everywhere, man. We're everywhere. All over the map. And then if you are listening to this on YouTube, or if you haven't yet, please go to youtube.com/@radiofarts. Subscribe. Like or subscribe. Don't do both. I don't care, man. I'm not asking you for much. But if you could, just check out the YouTube channel as well. Get on there. Leave a comment, man. Like Antonio said, 5 stars. Eat a dick. I don't care if the comments are negative. I don't care if you rip me apart. I don't care if you tell me I'm ugly and that I never should have started a podcast to begin with. I will take those comments. And I will ride into the sweet, serendipitous sunset on the backs of that hate. Because that is how you adapt, overcome, achieve, win, lose, disachieve, undercome, forget, and fail. Thank you for listening. I love you guys. Appreciate it. See you next week. Peace.